So now, knowing that, how do you feel about the subject of overwhelmment? Is it even a thing right now?
No, because I'm realizing I have fun when I do it with each person. And I feel, when you said there's a lot of me to go around, that really resonated. Because usually when we leave, it's only maybe like an hour, 2 hours of my time, when I work with each creator on their book. And then when we leave and depart, I feel like, all right, that felt good. I'm tired, but that felt good.
Well, a lot of the reason that you're tired is because you didn't start gathering your marbles until you got there. And it's hard to gather marbles when there's other marbles that are already doing their thing. So what you want to do is, before each of those collaborative meetings, put some marbles in your bag, easy matches with whoever it is you're going to be with. The process before this marble collection was the book of positive aspects. And then later, just recently, we've been talking about make the easy existing match. The thing about them that's easy for you to know that you and your inner being are in agreement about. Make easy existing matches and activate them in you, and watch how effective those, it's like you'll cue them up. You'll cue you up, which cues them up for a collaboration that's going to knock your socks off. When their inner being and your inner being get focused in this way, you're just not going to believe what flows through. It's that synergism. It's that inspiration. That's the hook we're looking for. That's the hook we're looking for. That's the hook we're looking for. Again and again and again. Oh.
One of the other questions I had was, when I have a day of where I'm working with 6 people and 6 different types of people, 6 different types of creativity.
Good, that's the best, because that stirs the most in you. But what was your question?
What is the meditation or the focus to just in-tune myself? Because in the beginning it was great, but now I'm like, maybe that there's more success happening and more investors and a wider attention now. How do I keep that going?
You don't, because you're not the law of attraction. What you do is you keep clarifying your bag so that you don't attract crap. You want the ones that are ready. You want the ones that are queued up. You want the ones that are organized. You want the ones that are efficient. You want the ones who are in love with life. You want the ones who are fun. In other words, they don't have to have had any success. They just have to have those characteristics of alignment, you see. And so the process that we would focus on, we call segment intending. And it just means, all right, in this segment, it's going to be what's his face. And as what's his face shows up, before you show up with what's his face, you have found existing matches. And then it's like getting universal forces to help you in soliciting the most magnificent from this one. Oh, we don't think you'll have any trouble being interested in that rendezvous if you've done your preliminary get out ahead of it work. We know it sounded like a silly little story because Esther's grandson is amazing. Esther cannot say enough wonderful things about him. She only feels wonderful things about him. But he's not interested in Esther. He's a teenager. He's really not interested in her. And that could hurt her feelings, but she refuses to let it hurt her feelings because she refuses to have hurt feelings that are associated with him. And so as she did just a little bit of light work, not only did he come out of his room and sit on the couch and visit with her, she said, your mom and I are going to go to da-da-da-da and have some da-da-da-da. Do you want us to bring you anything? You want to come with us? Want us to bring you anything? Oh, yeah, I'd like some da-da-da-da. So they went and they gathered up da-da-da-da. And then they had something else that they also had planned to do. And they said, but we should take this over so that it's hot when he gets it, because it was all really close area. And so Esther said, I'll wait in the car while you run it in. So Esther waited in the car while Tracy ran it in. And he came out to the car and said, roll down the window, because he wanted to say thank you to Grandma. Now, that just does not happen. That just does not happen. That was definitely segment intending, where Esther activated what she wanted. And we're not in any way wanting to make him sound like he's not perfect in every way as far as Esther's concerned. But she did focus upon some things that made him feel differently about not only himself, but about his relationship with his grandmother and with his mother. You talk about bringing the best out in people. Well, you bring the best out in people. And what is the best? Not the right. What is the best? The best is their path of least resistance. He felt wonderful. He didn't come out begrudgingly because his mother said, go thank Grandma. Esther hates that. His mother would say, give Grandma a kiss. This went on for years. And Esther would say, we don't kiss, do we? We hiss. And Esther would go, and he would go, and they both liked that. Because Esther didn't like him being forced to give her a kiss that he didn't want to give her. And so hisses are just fine with Esther. You get what we're talking about. It's so fun to watch right before your eyes. When you intend something, we're talking about seconds. We're talking about 17 seconds that collects something else and another 17 seconds that collects something else. We're talking about only that much. That's enough to get it going. If you spend 17, we can be more clear about this. When you focus on something for as little as 17 seconds, the law of attraction brings another equivalent thought vibration to it. And did you ever play with mercury? Esther and her sister deliberately broke a thermometer when they were kids, and they played with the mercury. It would spatter. She knows it's poison now, but then she didn't know. And it would gather up, and the little blob would get bigger and bigger and bigger. So you drop it in, and then 17 seconds, bloop, something else joins it that's just like it, that makes it more attractive in nature. Another 17 seconds, bloop, you cross the 68-second mark, you've got activity. You've got manifestational activity. You've got enough that is noticeable, and you know that from your creative work. The problem with getting together with a lot of people is that they scatter the thoughts and they scatter the energy, so you don't get that. You don't get that blub, 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 blub. You get da, 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 da. And so if you have segment intended so that you've already got the momentum going, and it's relative to this person because you have found the easy to find, easy, good feeling attributes of them, they'll come ready to play, and you'll notice it. And you don't want to say, I bring the best out in you, even though you know it, because you know what? When you play like that, they bring the best out in you. It's a collaboration where you can't tell whose idea that was, because it's an idea that was born because both of you were there, that would not have been born if both of you hadn't been there. And that is co-creating at its best. Yeah. Good.
It's a quick story with the 17 seconds that actually happened this week. My book comes out in stores next month, and I was trying to focus in on a number that brought me to a path of least resistance, and I settled on the number of 20,000 copies. And then I think this past week, I was talking to my distributors to prepare for the release, and they said, hey, we got the numbers in, and you hit 15,000 copies. I'm like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. That's good. I wanted to be 20. In my head, I was saying I wanted to be 20,000. And then I think yesterday, the printer actually made a mistake, and they miscounted, and they actually sold 21,000 copies. Yeah.
That's a good start.
It's all right.
It's just the start.
Yeah, it's a good start.
Think about what just happened. I think it's just pay attention.
So keep focusing in on the path of least resistance, no matter what.
Trust the law of attraction, and trust your ability to calibrate to your desire, and watch what happens. Yeah. Really good.
All right. Thank you.
No. All right. You know why we suggested that? because that was his choice, and he shouldn't follow anything but his choice. He was doing that to please someone else. We wanted him to do what he chooses to do. That was the path of least resistance, because it was his choice. You get that?
You see an event unfolding in front of you. I was driving down the road the other day. There's a vehicle in front of me, and I see this vehicle, and I'm like, they're going to crash at some point. And I watched her driving, and somebody that I work with was up the road in front of me. I'm like, I better pay attention to that license plate in case that person hits that other person. Well, a couple minutes go by, we're driving down the road. I don't know where this driver goes, not really paying attention to it. I'm having some great feeling thoughts. I'm thinking about Mother's Day, gifts I'm gonna get for people and drop them off, and that car drives into the side of mine. Did I attract that, or did I desire that?
No, you didn't desire it, but your attention to it. People will say, I don't really believe in this deliberate creation stuff because stuff happens that I didn't intend. And we say, in a situation like that, we didn't say you intended it or wanted it, but we did say you focused upon it. As Jerry and Esther drove these monster buses, Prevost buses, 45 feet long, towing a car behind them, zigzagging around the nation for a long time. And they would go for thousands and thousands of miles and never see an accident. And then they would come up after one, or there'd be 2 or 3 in a row, and Jerry would say, time for us to tighten up our thinking, because this is getting a little too close for comfort. And so just pay attention to what's manifesting around you, because it always matches what's going on. For sure, for sure, for sure. We haven't said the words today, but we want to say them now. Pay attention to what your thoughts are, and pay attention to how the thoughts feel as you think them, and then pay attention to what happens and connect those dots. Show yourself that thoughts create and that feelings give you advance notice.
So true.
It isn't that that was meant to be, but we really like ending with this, because we were hot on this new idea with you all of certainty, probability, possibility, unlikely. So think about what's going on in people's bags of marbles. And they're all around you. There's people, ne'er-do-wells, murderers, robbers, all kinds of people moving all around you in your society, but you don't match up because you're not a vibrational match. And being in the physical vicinity is not what it's about. It's being in the vibrational vicinity is what it's all about. So let's say that there were some unfocused people on their way to that. And logic, physics, understanding vibration, even your inner being's awareness, your inner being would have keen awareness of everything that's going on or probably going to go on in your environment. And so your inner being knows that, but your inner being doesn't warn you. And humans say, I could have used a warning. And we say, your inner being doesn't operate that way, because warnings are what all these wars are about. In other words, your inner being is an advocate. So you received the thought which gave you the opportunity to soothe. To soothe. Now, would you have stopped their accident? Unlikely. Would they have not run into you? More likely that they would not have. There was someone in the hot seat early on. We were having a seminar in San Francisco, and this person indignantly proclaimed, Abraham, this law of attraction thing is jacked up. I was driving along feeling good. In fact, she said, I was listening to one of your recordings. And I got pulled over, and they gave me a ticket. And we said, what was the ticket for? And she said, driving without my seatbelt. And we said, well, how do you feel about that? She said, I think it's a stupid law. I don't think I should have to buckle up. I don't think it's anybody's business but my own. So I kind of fake it sometimes, but I don't think anybody should tell me what I can and cannot do. And we said, so here you are, driving down the freeway with that stuck in your vibrational craw. We weren't talking about the bag of marbles in those days, but if we were having the conversation today, your bag of marbles having this big blaring resentment about people imposing their will upon you going on. So here's The policeman, just out making a living. He's trolling for revenue, up and down the freeways, just doing what he's supposed to do. And radiating out of the roof of your car is, pick me, pick me, pick me, pick me. That really is how it works.